Welcome to What's the Effort?
What the F?
Hello, everyone. Let's see if we have anybody here yet. Not at this minute, but hopefully we will very soon. Oh, there we are. We have someone. I just got a message that said this won't be recorded live if I don't empty some memory. I'm like, what the heck?
Well, that's no good.
No, that's no good at all. And I can't really, I believe it's recording. It looks normal, but that wouldn't be good at all.
Nope.
No, that wouldn't be. And it was just like a little flash. I was like, what the fuck was, sorry, what the heck was that? So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't want to have you back next week to do it all again. That would not be good. All right. So welcome. And this week I have Kevin Choe, and that is a huge honor. It's an honor for all my guests, but Kevin is just like shot right up, man. So we have to find out what's going on. But so welcome, Kevin. Thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me here. I watched some of your stuff, from like the sideline, and I was like, oh, but she's been really consistent with all this stuff, all the posting, And there's people that are complaining, oh, I don't know how technology works that are my age, and here you are cranking it away, posting it like this is like nothing,
Not quite like it's nothing, but like I did freak out about that little message, but we'll see what it means. Yeah, I decided that once Pace and Abraham pushed me, I thought, okay, if I'm going to do it, I got to do it. That's all there's to it. And now I actually like it. So that's good. Thank you for that. So I like to start almost with everyone by questioning your childhood.
Okay.
Well, you're not very old. How old are you?
I'm probably the same age as you, Effie.
Mid-20s? 29.
29, yeah. I'm 29, yeah.
There you go. What were you like as a kiddo?
What was I like as a kiddo? Very oh, that's such a good question. Oh my gosh.
It makes you think back.
I don't know what kind of person was I honestly in elementary and younger, I would say I was very I was very polite. I don't know if that's what you're looking for.
Isn't every young Korean boy and girl?
Yeah, I was very considerate. That's what I got on my report card. So like every semester, like teachers would send you like a report card, and she would tell you like what grade you got, and then she would tell you about like how you interact amongst all the students. And I was always consistently very I was very collaborative with everybody. Like everybody in my class loved me.
Oh, good. And your teachers loved you too?
Yeah, I've never created enemies. I've never gotten in a fight with anyone. I never had a beef with anyone. I got over things really quickly. And yeah.
Good. What kind of student were you academically?
Well, there's different phases, right? Like when I was in Korea, I lived in Korea until I was 10. And that was, and when I was living there, I was pretty academically smart. I was never behind on anything.
Good.
But the bar is pretty high up there in Korea. And then I come to the States, and then everyone's just stupid, like when I came to the States when I was fourth grade, we started learning multiplication, and then like first grade is when I learned, multiplication. I'm like, you like all these Americans are kind of stupid, like what's
Little
going on?
Did you know it's the entire world? You do recognize, don't you, that it's not America, it's Korea that's different.
Oh yeah, right? That's Korea that's different. Yeah.
Because when I was teaching ESL and I had every culture in my class, I used to do this exercise where I'd ask them to get into their country's groups and then go and answer these questions on the board without looking at anybody else's. What time did you get up? When did you leave for school? What time was lunch? Did you have recess? What time did school finish? When did you come home? What did you do after school? And we answered them for elementary and for high school. And
Yeah.
later, I had them do the same thing for university. And I had to always make sure that the Korean students went up last because they did sneak around to see, oh, well, we were better than you. We did more. And the case was never did any other country compare to Korea. So the expectations of young children and high schoolers is extremely high, and
Yeah.
that's the reasons that suicides rates are what they are. But they're very academically pushed, and then when
I
they get
remember.
to university, it's party time.
Yeah.
And here it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Okay, you kind of chill, 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 and then when you get to university, you got to work your ass off.
Do you people do really do that? Is that really the case? People here in the States, they actually work really hard during college.
Yeah, the professors don't hesitate to kick you out. They don't care. They'll kick you out. And having also worked in the UC system in the master's and PhD programs, yeah, they do. I mean, for a decent school, uh, for education, you've got to put out. Whereas I was told by my Korean students that you almost have to burn the university down for them to kick you out of a university in Korea. Like they expect you to let loose. So I thought that was an interesting switch.
Interesting. I remember when I was in second grade, I would go to school at 7:30 because school started at 8, and I would walk to school, and then I would have, breaks and lunch and after school, and then there's there's a bunch of extracurricular activities after school. Like I
But
would
what
finish
time
school,
did school end?
it would end around 2:33, and then I would have at least two academies afterwards, and then an exercise after that. So it was like always. I I, I mean that was second grade, so, and I hated it. I'm like so glad
So
I didn't do that.
what time did you get home? Like,
7:38.
yeah, and that's elementary.
That's second grade.
So for
Yeah.
anybody who's listening who is, not Korean, think about that. Elementary. And then in high school,
I
even
don't. I
more.
don't. I don't know what
I
high
know,
school.
but I can tell you even more because they
Oh,
would have to, they would grab a bite and then they'd go back to studying. So it is an interesting difference. Did you ever
yeah.
play any sports in school?
No.
Okay. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Um. Ooh. What did I want to be when I grew up? Uh. Some sort of business.
Oh, you
Like
knew.
we're talking like realistically, like in high school, right?
Yeah.
Like what do I want to be like in high?
Yeah. When you were in high school, you knew you were going to graduate. What did you want to do?
Um. I wanted to be in some sort of. I wanted to own my own business. Always.
Did your
Real
father
estate.
own his own business?
My parents own their own businesses. Yeah.
What were
For
they?
Well, up until certain, and there's some certain parts of my life where they own business together. Like they owned an academy together.
Uh huh.
So like after school academy, like I used to go to that after school. And then my dad was he had all sorts of businesses. He had like little karaoke to now he's in real estate. He's a fix and flipper.
Oh,
And yeah,
cool.
but that's back in Korea. So real estate is very different there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've always just like I've always thought about like what can I do to stand out, because I didn't want to be like what everybody else was doing. I'm
So
like
you didn't want to go to university?
I never really wanted to know.
Okay. So what'd you do when you finished high school?
I went to community college for about half a semester.
Okay.
And
And did you like it? What was that about?
I abs- I I was bored. It wasn't hard. I was just bored. I was like, how you're telling me I got to do this for like the next 4 or 5 years, and I just couldn't see myself doing it. Like the straw that broke the camel's back for me was I had a history class for 2 hours and 50 minutes, and the professor was this just old dude. He didn't have any presentation. He would speak for 2 hours and 50 minutes, and I literally almost passed out because I was so bored out of my mind. And I was like, I went to two classes with him, and then I dropped out of that class, and then I'm like, oh, if I'm dropping out of this class, might as well drop out of the whole thing. So I dropped out of every single class that I had.
Oh my God.
I was enrolled in like 14 credits, which is full time student,
Hmm.
but I knew that like I told I told my parents, I say, hey, I'm gonna take a gap year, right? Because if I drop out second semester, that means I finish first semester around like middle of December, second semester and summer, and I go back to school in September. So I have 9 months to figure it out. So that's kind of where had to like roll my like think a little bit harder. I'm like, what can I do to get out of this thing?
Well, good for you. And what did you come up with?
My first business was ATM business.
A what?
ATM business.
Oh, that's kind
Nobody,
of cool.
not many people know about it, but if you go to my Instagram, like if you go to all the way down to like my one of my very first posts,
Hmm.
like I had ATM business, and I that's what I started when I was, that's during COVID. So like I
Hmm.
dropped out December, and I had an ATM business by March.
Did you
And now
like
that I
it?
think about it, I never had more desire to work than those times when I was just starting out. Like I was so passionate about it. Like I would wake up and ready to work. I would go to bed late at night because I was excited to learn everything that I had to learn. You know.
Wow. How many ATMs did you have, and did you like it? And how much did you make money? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I had one, and then I was under contract for a second one until my parents decided to move. So I backed out of the second one, and then each machine it cost me probably 2,300 bucks, and I was making about 400 or 500 bucks during COVID in California. So like it was like a 200% cash on cash return kind of business, and it was so simple. Like that was a really simple business. That business was so easy, and this is coming from like a 19-year-old who just barely knew anything about business, and that business I could have grew to a pretty sizable portfolio.
Out of curiosity, why didn't you continue it?
I was on that's when I got like ran into like the wholesale real estate, and I was on the fence about should I do both or should I just focus on one. And I said, you know what, let me try real estate because I've always wanted to do real estate.
Okay.
I've always had passion for real estate. So when I was in fifth grade, I was signed up for this broker's listing uh, on their website, and every single day I'll get like emails from them saying, hey, this is a house that came up on the market, and I would look at it every single day, every single one of them.
Why? What were you going to do with them in the
I don't
fifth
know,
grade?
just look at it. I was like, oh, this is such a nice house, and I've always wanted to own real estate, like, because my parents still, they never own they never own real estate.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
I was the first one in my family to own real estate, which is awesome. But I always had the desire to own something,
Hmm.
and I was like, what could I do? Like, I want to, and I loved looking at houses.
Yeah. Well, I was the same age as you at that time. I mean, a few generations earlier,
Uh
when
huh.
I was actually going into houses with my mom and learning about houses. It was interesting to see. I loved them after I got used to it. I didn't want to do it at first, but after I got used to it, I really loved it.
Yeah.
So, when did you first meet Pace? Talk to me about the moment you met him. And was that the beginning of your career, or did you come in through TTP or someplace else? Talk to us about that.
Yeah. My very first real estate mentorship was a it was like a wholesale mentorship that I paid 5 grand for. Like they like kicked me out after 6 months of joining the mentorship. And mind you, like I quit the real ATM stuff like May, and then I got into real estate like paid for it June. Kicked me out. Uh,
Why?
well, I mean,
I thought you said
because
everybody
I
loved
couldn't
you.
I couldn't afford the $500 a month.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I quit that, and then that's when I was looking for another mentorship to jump into, and that's when Pace popped up on my Facebook and said, like, this is like a lifetime mentorship. You never get kicked out. So I'm like, oh, okay. I see that. I much rather do this because this is economical, if anything. So I that's so I and this is the time they were giving out all these stimulation checks and unemployment, and I got some of them. And I just use that money to freaking put it into the mentorship. So if you look at like my payment history of sub two, I I paid it off really quickly. Like in 2 months, I paid it off. right? Because I got all this money coming in. I'm like, okay, this would be the best investment I ever make, which it was. And I didn't, and I never really spent any time with Pace until like a few months after that. And mind you, this was like when there were like 600 people in sub two. Like I was one
Wow.
of the very first few people.
Hmm.
And when I first joined, I was like, okay, this is like this is kind of fun. Like buy houses, no credit, all that stuff. But then the one thing that event that allowed me to get Pace's that allowed me to hang out with Pace's team was I was door knocking. Pace was doing this challenge about how to like door knocking foreclosures and find houses distressed and get your first deal. And I was door knocking foreclosures in Las Vegas, and that's when I was living in Vegas
You
back
were
then.
living in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I was living in Vegas for 2 years at that time.
Okay.
And then I come across this Indian lady, and sorry, I keep like referencing racist, but like it's not with the intention of being racist, but um,
That's
uh,
okay. I'm good with it. I understand you're just describing the person.
yeah, yeah, and I knocked on her door saying, hey, like hey, like your house is in foreclosure, like I can help you out. That was basically my script, and this she got super pissed off at me. Like she started to take out her phone. She started recording me, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna report you to police." And 5 houses down was a police officer just chilling in his car, and she like runs to the police officer. She doesn't even have shoes on, and there's a kid like peeping out the door, and she goes, hey officer, this man is harassing me, saying I'm about to lose my house." And and then that's when I got in, and that's when I um, that was like kind of traumatic experience because I never got in trouble by the police. And the police officer was like, "Hey, sit down here at the corner, like on this curb. Why are you doing this? Like, what are you trying to get out of it?" I said, "Well, I'm trying to get my very first deal." And he's like, "What do you what what objective are you trying to get?" And like I said, I'm trying to get my very first deal. I don't know what I'm doing. And he called my parents, and then my parents had to bail me out.
Oh my
And I
God.
was
You mean they took you to the station?
I mean, they had to. No, they met me at the house that I was.
Oh, God,
I
that
was
would have been terrible.
yeah. So my parents and I didn't tell them anything about real estate. So they came in there and like, what the f are you doing here? Like, you're just wasting your time. And shortly after that, I got my very first deal. So it was like a wake up call, but it was really
I'm
embarrassing.
surprised
And
that you stuck with it, having been yelled at by that lady and being brought into the police. That's crazy.
oh yeah, I love crazy. That's my favorite. But but and I told that to Pace, and Pace was like, "Hey, I love that you got in trouble by the police. Come hang out with me and my team. We'll go door knocking. We'll go knock on some doors together." And I was like, "Okay, this is awesome." And then that's kind of when I first started hanging out with Pace. This was
But were you still
probably
living in Vegas?
yeah, I was still living in Vegas, so I drove to Phoenix.
All right. So when did you move to the Phoenix area?
I moved so December. So my first time in Phoenix was like January or February, and then I moved
Of
to Phoenix like November that year,
of which year?
2022.
Oh, okay. All right.
No,
That's
no,
interesting.
sorry, that was 2021, and then 2022, like beginning of 2022, is when I moved.
Got it. What do you and Pace talk about in Korean?
He does not speak Korean now.
Don't give me this bull. He talks to
He
you
does
in
not speak
Korean.
Korean. He does not. He knows how to write Korean in Korean. I would understand. He understands some stuff, but he doesn't speak Korean.
Really?
No, not at all.
Well, what the heck? How could he do his ministry then?
That's what I'm curious about. Like you might be door knocking some American group of people because you're not gonna go door knock and start speaking in English. Like that's not how it
Yeah,
works.
right. Because they won't understand you. Most people. So he doesn't.
Exactly.
He's never like in speaking Korean. You don't think he's he's a good Korean speaker?
No, not at all. Not at all. And
That's
I tell him that all the time. Like, hey, please, you don't speak Korean. Stop lying to me. You know.
oh, that's so funny. I'm also, quite surprised because I know he went there, and I figured that if he was going to do ministry, he would have been able to speak it.
That's kind of what my thinking was too, but I
Yep.
guess not.
So, talk to us a little bit about your learning curve within Sub 2. You went door knocking with Pace. What I think you've done just about everything, but I'd like to hear what you did first and what you got into. You're doing a boatload of stuff. Tell me what, was the door knocking the first aspect of real estate?
You know, the funny thing about way I got my very first deal was not even door knocking. I was spending a lot of money on like texting. I had a mentor at the time that was telling me, "Hey, this is what you need to do to get your very first deal," and all that was basically to push her affiliate, right? So I made her a lot of money, and I didn't get any deal. And I was to a point where I was running out of money for any more marketing. Like if I do any more marketing, I'm gonna run out of money. So I stopped doing marketing, and then for some reason I'm like I had the urge like I'm gonna go on Facebook Marketplace and just start looking at houses there because like let's see what's out there. And then like I see all these like distressed houses on there, and I'm like, whoa,
Thanks,
like
Leah.
can I just like reach out to them, see if they want to sell. And I kid you not, I reached out to probably like 20 people on Facebook Messenger, Facebook Marketplace, and I get this homeowner that was like, yeah, I have this house. I bought it like last year, and I'm going through a divorce, and I don't want to put this house up on the market because I don't want my family member to see it. So this would have to be a very private sale. And I said, well, what price do you want it at? And right there off the bat, like the house was worth probably like 270 all fixed up, and she was selling for 135. You know, so it's
Why?
literally like 50% off.
Why was she selling it, willing to take a discount?
Because she didn't want any of her families to see it, and she didn't have money to repair it. So
Wow,
she was giving me such a good
amazing.
price.
Well, you
Yeah,
really did help her then.
I did help her.
Yeah.
And but that deal came about in like a week after I was like, you know what, I might give up on real estate right now. I don't know.
Well, I think that must have changed your mind.
Yeah, and that deal is still and that deal is still up on my Instagram right now. If you go scroll all the way to the bottom, it's still there.
Do you still own it?
No, I sold it. I wholesaled it.
You wholesale it. So then you were wholesaling at the beginning. Is that right?
That's correct.
How long were you wholesaling? How many deals do you think you did before you started moving towards the next step? And what was that next step?
I probably wholesaled like 50 deals until I bought my first one.
Okay. So you were
And
living on the assignment fees. That's how you were building your wealth and your support. And then
mhm,
you decided, wait, I got to own one.
yes, yeah. And I bought my first house when I was 21.
Nice. Did you move into it?
No, I sold it. I sold it on seller finance, so I wrapped it. I make good pay. I'm bringing about $400 a month from that house.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, lot of deals. I've done a lot of deals. I've done probably 200 plus deals at this point.
Good God. Good
Yeah.
God. I think it's interesting to see your growth because I had heard on one of the podcasts that you had done 20 to 25. Now, is that assets that you owned in 23 and then, I mean, in 22, and then you did 90 in last year? Were you talking about assets or were you talking about deals? Sorry to ask dumb questions, but there you have it.
Yeah. Let me actually pull it up. I got 15 houses, 27 doors.
Nice.
Yeah, 15 houses,
Are they
27.
single family?
Single family turned into like multiple units. Like we'll split up the house like a kind of like a pad split. So we would do like 4-3 into a 3-2 and a 1-1 kind of thing. I got a couple duplexes. I got one triplex, and small
Nice.
units here and there.
Where are they?
25 of them. I got 4 houses in Tampa, and
Oh,
then I got a house in Vegas, and then I got a couple houses in. And I got majority of my portfolios in here in Phoenix.
nice. Very nice indeed. All right. Now, at some point, you came to Pace's attention, like you were always in his line since I've known you. You know,
Right.
uh, as a matter of fact, at that when I first joined, I would say that Leah's saying you're the shit,
Yes.
but that she loves you. Okay.
Thank you.
I think it's a compliment.
Hope so.
Yeah. Anyhow, so from when I came on, Munif was the man of the hour. Like he was traveling everywhere with Pace. I couldn't believe how much, how he was traveling everywhere. I thought, oh
Right.
my God, he must be filthy rich, and then I realized that wait, oh, what's this Kevin dude doing? You know, and I started seeing you more and more and more. And of course, we've met and I've ridden in your car. I haven't stayed in your house yet, but you know,
I
I
mean, I have. What do you mean? You haven't stayed at my house ever?
not yet.
I literally just in the last like 30 days, I had like 7, 8 people stay in my house. Like not my house that I'm living in, but like across my Airbnbs, like just
Nice.
empty ones.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, I'm sure that day will come. But I was blown away when I went to my mastermind and I met Ju Yun,
Yeah,
who I love. And he told me that, oh, he's staying at Kevin's. I was like, you know Kevin? He goes, now I do. I said, what do you mean now you do? You know him and he just let you stay at his place? Yeah, and I've got his key, his car. I said,
yeah,
oh shit, let's go for a ride. And we went for a ride, but I was like, I know that, when you, like when I meet a Canuck, I tend to be, we bond a little bit faster, but that was very, very kind of you. And I think that that is one of the things I keep hearing about you. It's just how many people think you're very nice. Like what you said about yourself as a child, that people don't really dislike you. What's there to dislike? Unless, of course, that you're outing somebody for, signing signatures improperly. That was interesting.
yeah.
You Yeah, the live fight you had with a real estate wholesaler who had forged signatures, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Kevin, go get him! Don't let him stop." I was quite some,
I
I'm
have hard time when I see things like that. When I see things that are unethical, and and most of the time I try to not get into other people's business because I don't want to get fired at. But when I see things that I'm involved in, and people being taken advantage of, like the seller got taken advantage of 100%. And when I see things like that, like I just can't stop but call them out. So
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad because that's how I am too. But I kind of count on the fact that I'm an old biddy, and who's going to hit an old biddy? You know,
yeah, true.
you're more in the line of fire. You're healthy, you're young, and another male could say, "Okay, let's get it on." But yeah, I'm glad that you did that.
I'll still fight though. Even I can't fight, but I'll still like stand up for myself.
Oh, me too. Trust me, if somebody knocked me down, I'd get up. I'd be like an old chicken. I'd be like whack whack whack. I'd be like trying to do cause a little blood. So that's that's the way I am too. But
Yeah.
oh, Roger has a question for you.
When are we going to connect, Kevin? Let's do some business. Well, Roger, you got to bring some business to me, man. I'm going out there and creating businesses too. So
There you go. Bring him a deal. Bring him a deal.
yeah.
So I noticed that you've been really, really busy on the circuit. I
Hmm.
mean, I know that you were on stage at Pat Hilton's, and then you went on Christina Bounty's podcast and
Yeah.
Founders Club. And oh my God, how do you make time for that much and still do business?
A lot of the business a lot of the businesses get done over the phone for me, honestly. Like when I'm like, so I for example, I go to California all the time, like once a week at the bare minimum. And every
Why?
single time well, my parents live there.
Okay.
My sister's there on, so I go there once a month. I drive 5 hour drive. I mean, I am more productive on a 5 hour drive over the phone calls than I would with anyone else. I would just doing my own stuff. So like when I drive around, like that's when I get a lot of stuff done.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting. I remember there was a video of you when you were in one of your um, homes when you were living and you were in a closet, like a big closet
Yeah.
with your computer and your hoodie up, really dark. And I was like, oh, I remember that. My son used to do that sort of thing when he would decide he's got to create something or he's going to be in a game or something
Yeah.
like that. He was just like laser focused. And there you were, with hoodie up and in the dark, looking at your computer doing deals. I was like, wow. But driving around, that's unusual.
Yeah. When I'm driving around, I'm usually talk on the phone with somebody, uh, business partners, potential business partners, people that I just want to hang out with, people that I want to connect with. Like those are the people that I want to hang out with.
Good.
I love doing that. That's my favorite thing. Like when I'm talking with other people, when I'm on the drive, when I'm driving around, like My favorite thing in the world.
What are you driving now?
Uh, a bicycle.
I'd pay to see that. That'd be
I
funny.
I I
With
um
your phone, you're
I
talking
downgraded from my
all the way
Kia.
to California.
No, I drive a Audi.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's a good car. I like
yeah,
them.
reliable.
Yeah, congrats. Congrats.
Yeah.
Describe your day today. What was today like? Monday, June 17th. What have you done in
Um,
the morning?
Went to the gym, got a really good workout in. I had a leg day today. I worked out from 6:30 to 8. Was limping out of the gym, and then from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. I was on the Zoom with the sub 2 students doing lead generation. Like I do that Zoom every Monday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then I took a break from, well, I didn't take a break, but I read my Bible, and then I did some miscellaneous stuff here and there. I cleaned the house because it was messy. I made a little smoothie and I spilled a lot of it. So I cleaned the house, and then I came to work at the office at around 12, and then I ran into my business partner. So we chatted for about 20-30 minutes, and then
Who is your
uh,
business partner?
her name is Cece.
Oh,
Yeah, we own all the midterm rentals together.
nice.
Yeah. So she was there. We chatted up for a little bit, and then yeah, and then got ready for the podcast. I got this podcast, and then I am a Pacer's texting me. Um,
I'm sorry, that's so funny. Pace is texting me.
I wonder
A
what he's.
true reaction.
Yeah. Let me show you my what I have. So I have a podcast with you at 1 p.m. and then I'm recording three YouTube videos with my business partner Love Francis at 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. for 4 hours for 2 hours, and then I have
Wow.
a podcast with at 5 p.m. And then I have a phone call with this guy that does seller finance boutique hotels. He wanted me to help him out, and then 5 p.m. I have a podcast with Ben Jensen, and then 6 p.m. I have another podcast, and then I have dinner with my friend Cage and his parents, and then that's it.
Wow. Is Monday like, do you dedicate Mondays to just podcasts, or is that some kind of whack way you live?
Um, I I realized. Sorry, I had other stuff.
Multitasking, I
Yeah,
know.
well, no, because I want to make sure like I'm giving you the right information. But usually, uh, I realized the game that I have that I play. The game that I'm playing right now is not the game that I used to play 2 years ago. 2 years ago I would literally just cold call, do the business. But right now my game is okay. I need to get in front of as many people as I possibly can,
Right.
and then like get my exposure out there. So a lot of YouTube videos. I do 4 YouTube videos a week.
Wow.
Um, no, with no problem. Like it's not hard for me to do 4 YouTube videos a week. I'm like 2 week. I'm already a couple weeks out on in terms of my YouTube, and I realize that's where my vision, that's where my creativity comes from, and that's where majority of my businesses stem from. So
Nice. Do
yeah,
you have a videographer
I do. Yeah,
and an editor?
yes, I do.
How
Do you
come
need
I'm
one?
No, I don't have either.
Do you need one?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
Um,
Well,
okay, afterwards, will send me the contact info because that would help a lot to get those two functions would be really good. What about posting? Do you have somebody who posts for you?
yeah, of course. Yeah. Instagram, I do everything. I do everything on
I
my
do
own.
it all myself.
Instagram, I do everything on my own. I don't want anybody touching my Instagram. But
Mhm.
YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, I have other people doing it.
Nice, good for you. That
Yeah,
makes sense. Because then that frees you up to focus on the business that you're doing with people instead of the mechanics, for sure.
yeah,
Um, And I also noticed that recently you had gone to the Growth House,
right,
Jesse Ray.
yeah.
Talk to us about that. I had met Jesse Ray a while back on Zoom and thought he had a bit of a genius there with his Growth House. And I saw some of the clips, but tell the audience what that was about.
So Jesse Ray, he does a lot of the you heard of the mindset manner, right? With all
Mhm.
they buy a big house, they rent out the rooms to entrepreneurs. That's kind of his business model. and he's one of the he's so well connected here in Arizona with all the younger entrepreneurs. And then he saw what I was doing with creative finance, buying houses, turning them into midterm rentals, and buying, wholesaling them. And he was like, you should come over, and connect with all the people. So he created his own mastermind, and there are people from all various fields, like hair braiding to real estate to um, boutique hotels to syndication to co-living, everything, like everything under the sun, like a lot of private equity, like business owners, like those guys were there. And it was just a really good connection, and it was interesting to see like the people outside of sub 2.
What were
Everybody
they
in sub
like?
2, um very the mindset is very different. Like they're not trying to do their, you know they ventured outside of real estate, which I loved, because I would love to venture outside of real estate one day
Hmm.
and just see how it is. Like my intention was never to do real estate full time, like for the rest of my life. Like I want to do something else. I always buy real estate, but I'm gonna stop wholesaling in the next 18 months, 18-24 months at least. That's my goal.
You're gonna stop?
Yeah,
Why?
I mean, you can't be wholesaling every single day. Most people don't know how to get out of it. So
Yeah.
I love to buy some businesses. I would love to I love to buy multifamily. So like I'm giving myself to April 1st of 2025 to leave Arizona, right? Like I'm leaving Arizona April 1st, 2025. And then until when I
Do you
move,
know where you're gonna go?
yeah, I'm going to New York City.
New York City?
Yeah.
Why New York City?
I've I want to have more. I want to explore more stuff. Never been on the East Coast.
Oh, I love it. I love the city. I love New York City. Uh,
Arizona is great, but I mean, I've been here for too long, so and I'm way too comfortable, right?
I
So
gotcha.
yeah, but until I move to Arizona, I want to have 100 rentals,
Mm.
right? So that, like, those are big goals.
Yes, they
and
are.
and I want to get into multifamily. I want to get into buying apartment buildings. I want to get into like buying businesses and eventually stop wholesaling. That's my vision.
Got it. That is interesting, and thank you for stating that, because I did want to ask you what you're going to do in the next, year, the next 3 years, 5 years, and it sounds like you've got that pretty much outlined. But what are you going to do in New York City? I mean, okay, you're going to have left wholesaling. Do you know whether you want to just become? Oh, I won't say another Trump. No fucking way. Sorry. I mean, a person who owns a lot of real estate, or in New York, or is there? Are you going for other reasons?
I mean, I will always buy real estate. Like I will always buy one house, two houses every single month, no matter what. I will stop wholesaling, but then I would own other businesses that is more that's more fun, more outside of it. Like I want to be more business, like you know, because if you like, if you like, most people don't know this, but like when you're wholesaling, you really don't make a lot of money, especially when you're wholesaling sub 2 deals like this. You don't make a lot of money.
Not on each one. I mean, it depends. I mean, some people do 20, 40 on each one, and that's not bad, but it can kill a deal if
Right.
you're not, cognizant of everyone, because there's so many pieces that go into it. So I get that. I get that. Have you done anything else like land, RVs, or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Not interested, or just not ahead? It's still ahead of you.
No, not like wholesaling land.
Yeah.
No,
For
I don't want
developing.
to. I don't want to do more wholesaling. I want to just buy. I want to just buy one house a month, two houses a month, just consistently, and um, retire my parents and just have do things that I normally wouldn't do.
Okay. And what has been the biggest challenge in growing as fast as you have grown? What do you think has been your biggest challenge?
Uh, Challenge to growing fast.
Hmm.
I two parts to the question. Um, I don't know if I'm growing fast. I feel like a lot of people tell me I'm
You
growing
have
fast.
8,000 followers. I'm sorry. And in IG, 19.
That's
And we
true.
started just about the same time. Now, I will give you, you're more. good looking than me, but still, I have 1.4 in YouTube versus your 8, and I've got 1.5 in IG, and you've got 19. And you're wondering if you're growing fast? Let me tell you, young man, you are growing fucking fast,
Yeah.
very much. And I'm really, really proud of you for it. But you must sense that
Yeah.
because you look around and sure, Pace might be growing faster and a couple of others maybe, but not that many. Like the majority don't even last a year. So I am proud of myself for not quitting and for continuing. And you guys, if you have not subscribed, shame on you. Subscribe. I always forget to say it. So
What the
now
f
it's,
you haven't subscribed? Come on, guys.
yeah, what the
You have
effing's wrong
one
with you?
job.
Just subscribe and make comments and such. I'm not good at that sort of thing. I enjoy this. Um, and I would enjoy it even more if I had help, like editors and that sort of thing. But um, you're growing very fast. So, any challenges?
Um, challenge. There's a lot of sacrifices that I make, right? Like, um, and I guess most people don't see it, but like, you don't know how lonely it is when you come back from. So, like, for example, like I came back from a Utah trip with Pace, Landon, Jordan, and Eric, and I land, and every single one of them is texting their significant other and their kids, "Hey, I'm coming home." And they go home to a family. But then for me, I go to a empty apartment that has no sign that nobody has been there, and those are the sacrifices that that I have to take.
Well, wait a minute. I've seen girls try to hit up on you at the summer camp that we were at last year, and they were bidding their little panties off trying to get a date with you. And I think Elena won it. I was like, well, Elena, you're married for Christ's sake, or whatever. So it is not because for not of wanting. What's the oh, here's one for you. Leah says, Kevin, do we have a girlfriend yet? If I had a granddaughter, I'd want them to date you. Just yanking your chain. Okay, she doesn't look like she's anywhere near old enough to be a grandma, but what's with that? I mean, have you thought about a relationship? Either way, guys, gals, doesn't matter.
Definitely not guys. I can tell you that.
And
I'm as
my
straight
son's
as
gay, so
I'm
I'm
straight as you
fine
can
with that.
find. Rafi, I want to be very straight up. I'm very straight.
Okay,
But you know what? Here's the thing. Like for me, I I'm like I want to just like Arizona. 3 years that I've been here, or 3 years that I will be here, it's just purely for the purpose of building my business. I mean, I kid you not, I have gone a lot of dates. I don't go on dating apps. I literally just pick up girls like the grocery store, all that stuff. Like I'm like really good at, like I'm really good at this now. Like I've done this hundreds of times. I can go pick up girls no problem.
hundreds of times, and you haven't met one that you liked.
Well, I get ghosted a lot of times too.
Okay, now
but,
we're
but
talking the truth.
yeah, now we're talking the truth. Yeah, we gotta track those KPIs. You know, like how many leads are we generating every single month? You know.
Exactly.
Um,
Um,
but the challenge, but going back, we went sidetrack. But the challenges that I'm running into is that I I sacrifice a lot. You know, like even like I'm getting a puppy next week,
yay!
and like I wanted to get a puppy. That was the first thing that I wanted to do when I moved to Arizona. But I knew for a fact that if I wanted to if I wanted to grow my business, I needed to be in proximity with Pace, and I couldn't get a puppy because if Pace calls me up, like last Tuesday, Pace calls me up at 8 a.m. saying, "Hey, let's hang out this week. I mean, let's hang out today." I dropped everything and I go. But if I have a puppy, I can't do that, right? So I just have to be more. There's things that I have to sacrifice, and I much rather pay that price early on, like right now, than I would any other like than 10 years down the road. Like I
That's
know
good.
for a fact by the time that I leave Arizona, like I would be financially set. Like I wouldn't have to worry about money ever again in my life.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I understand that. I do understand that. But I also would like to suggest not that Munif and Love, um, you know, there are women in sub two that are, perhaps as hardworking as you, and that you might, and like Cece's your partner. I don't know her, but it's a business, so you're partnering with a business. But
Yeah.
if you had, and I have no idea what if Cece's married or any of that, so please
Oh,
don't
engaged. She's engaged.
engage. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's say a partner similar to Cece, but engaged to you. You know, meaning that why wouldn't you be consider finding a hardworking, awesome lady in Subdue or that is in real estate that can share your passion? Because there are a lot of ladies.
Oh, I didn't tell you I wasn't doing. I never told you I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Effie, you Effie,
All right.
I
So do I have your
the
permission?
pipeline is full,
Do I
Effie.
have permission, your permission then to start screening
I
and
mean,
passing them
are you
your
gonna
way?
screen for me, or I'm screening for myself? There's a lot of people that want to screen for me, but I don't know.
That's funny. That is so funny. I know that, in the old Korean, they would have more of arranged marriages. I think that's kind of funny because the young Korean ladies, no way. But even just the name, choosing the names and stuff like that in the culture, in some cultures can be already spelled out, or you have to follow rules, like go to a name maker. It is
Yeah,
interesting. It is interesting how
it's really
different
interesting.
we all are, our cultures and such. So, well, I hope that you do find someone because I agree that when you come home and it's empty, it can leave you wanting. I've always had a cat or two. This is the first time I've had one, but I've also had my kids, right? So I can pick up the phone and like or go see my grandbaby. Now I'm trapped by the grandbaby. Ugh. Anyhow, whatever you can do.
Ew, ew,
um,
grandbaby.
I know it's a grandbaby, and it's already got me wrapped around her finger. You decided to join Owners Club.
Right.
Tell me why.
Uh, I don't know. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about like any product that Pace comes out with. I will benefit in some way or another. I've never not benefited from Pace's product. So even if I don't really know what it is, I just joined. Like I was a 10th member of the Owners Club,
Wow,
right?
nice.
Like and I didn't know what was coming up, but I said if Pace is the one hosting it, I know it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah, I get that logic. I wasn't there because of the grandbaby. I had to give my tickets. I gave my ticket to Josh Keating, and he got to go. But my phone started ringing, on that Tuesday night and the next morning. And I thought about it. I said, I should consider joining just to support Pace. But I also thought about this 25K. How long will it take me to net 25K? Because I was telling you before we started, I'm not really making money. I'm not monetizing YouTube yet. I am starting to finally get things going. But how long would it be before I netted 25? And
Off
that's
of
what me.
YouTube?
Hmm? No,
Off
no,
of you?
not off of YouTube, off of real estate.
Yeah.
So I decided I would wait for next year. That's going to be my goal next year to be able to have, done enough that 25K net is nothing. Like I
Right.
have enough money to be able to do that and not care about the money, but I'm trying not to just spend it as though it doesn't matter. Try to spend it as if how long would it take me if I net it to get that net from my businesses? So I decided, I wasn't there anyways, but that I would wait. But I can see doing it just because he has supported you and it's going to be a good thing. I'm sure you're not the only one that's joined because they know he's going to over deliver for
Yeah.
sure. You mentioned a little bit ago the We Generation podcast.
It's a Zoom in sub too.
It's a Zoom in step two.
Yeah, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. every Monday.
Okay, okay. What is the Kevin Choe group?
Um, Kevin Choe group. Oh, that's my school.
Okay, so
I have
sorry.
I have I have a I have a school community. Um, it was more is more designed for funnels. Like people want to join this group, and when they come in, I click their emails and all that stuff, and we go live. A couple times a month. Just ask. I just ask. I just answer questions and things like that. So
How is it a school? Sorry to ask a dumb question.
Oh, it's not school like high school. It's called SKOL.
Oh,
It's a new like platform.
oh,
Yeah.
a new likes platform?
Yes.
Never heard of it. But then again, I hadn't heard of a lot of stuff I'm doing.
Right.
When did you start it and how's it going?
I started like a month ago,
Hmm.
and I haven't really been active in it.
Okay.
It's not my focus.
Oh, okay. I came across it and I wondered
Yeah.
what it was. Roger says,
Well,
"Where's the link? Send the link." And
here,
then he says,
I'll
"It's
send
an
you the link.
old community building platform." What does that mean? An old community building platform. So it's not new, it's old?
Well,
Okay.
it's been a while. I just texted to you, Effie.
Okay. Oh, thank you for that. Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Appreciate it. Well, that is interesting. Um, I have another question for you. Um, if you had a clone of yourself,
Oh, you said clone. I asked clone.
no, clone,
That's no
looks
good.
the same, DNA is the same, acts the same. If you had a clone of yourself, what would that other clone be doing?
Mm, uh, filming.
Filming,
Yeah.
so you could take care of the social media stuff.
I want to double down on the social media stuff.
Oh,
I'll do the
you
social media.
want even more?
Yeah.
Interesting. So then you believe that the social media stuff is so important that that's where your business has to be.
100%.
Jesus, what's wrong with mine? You know?
Well, there's nothing wrong with yours, Effie. You just haven't. I mean, but here also, Effie, you also have to understand that I've been in real estate for 3.5 years. This is my fourth year in real estate, right? So like it's like when you and I started YouTube like the last 12 months. So like 3 years of experience, people learn a lot versus when you're in real estate and you start podcasts at the same time that you get into real estate. It's like you have a slower start,
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
So nothing wrong with. I'm so happy that you're doing it. I'm so happy that you invited me. I'm so happy. Like I like you said earlier, like this, you're probably the only one that's still doing it.
Yeah, from that little group that pays the very first time he talked about social media and he brought on I forget his name now, his videographer, and left
Eric.
the room, Eric, and he left the room, and Eric went beat red, and he was like, "Holy shit, I'm in trouble." He didn't know what to say. He was so good. Anyhow, yeah, from that group, I think probably there are very, very few that actually started. Um, okay, sat in on one of his Q and A's, and it was very good, says Andrea. Well, that's good.
Yeah,
Um,
I do a Q&A in my school. Like I haven't done it in a couple weeks because I was busy, but I
mhm.
do it from time to time.
Okay. So, in effect, you are making clones of yourself. Thank you, Roger. You're right. I was asking him what his clone would do, but he's already busy building clones of yourself. Okay.
Right.
Okay. And, there was a time when I would watch for your reels because I loved seeing what you were going to take out of your fridge or what you were going to try and cook or what you were going to try and do in the kitchen. And it was always a disaster. And, I was like, you go, guy, just keep trying, and I thought, oh, he's doing that to get girlfriends. He's going to get a girl who says, let me help you cook. But I didn't see that happen. But I did love that series that you had, just going on about food. Um, what is your favorite food?
Sushi.
Sushi. All right. You got to get up to Vancouver.
Vancouver. How can can I drive to Vancouver?
If you can drive to Seattle, of course. But
Yeah.
bring your passport. It's in Canada.
Yeah, of course.
There's
Um,
a Vancouver in Washington, D.C., in Washington, the state of Washington. There's a small town called Vancouver.
oh really?
Yeah.
That's confusing. Do people like ever like Go
The only
localize.
ones who get confused are the ones that live in that city because everybody else doesn't think it exists.
Oh, wow, it's too small that nobody even knows.
Pretty much. But yes, you can drive. You can drive.
How
And you
how far how far of a drive from Seattle?
about an hour and a half.
That's it.
Mhm.
Is it cold up there
It's beautiful.
right now?
It's really really gorgeous. You see fantastic mountains. You see the ocean. There's lots and lots of parks. You have to go now though. You can't go during the winter months. The winter months it's raining because the nickname for Vancouver is Raincouver. It rains a lot. Not quite as much as Seattle, but it rains a lot. So you have to go from May until the end of August. That's when it's beautiful.
Okay.
Also
Yeah,
has a second nickname,
which
uh,
is
Hollywood North, because so many movies are and TV series are shot in Vancouver.
hmm.
They've taken a lot of business from Hollywood. That's why they call it Hollywood North. So
I gotta go there before the end before August, end of August.
you would really like it. It's beautiful, and they have a very very diverse communities. So we have really good Korean food. We have very good Japanese food, Indian. You name it, it's there. It's there. So, oh, look at that, Roger. That's hysterical. He's been to Vancouver, Washington,
Interesting.
but not many people even know it exists. So,
Right.
that is a kind of an interesting one. Um, why are you such a big chicken ass when it comes to cockroaches?
They are gross. I don't even know why they exist on this planet. They should just go extinct.
Do you know that um, in New York City, that's their main headquarters?
Yeah, but if I live in a new city, like brand new apartment, that's not gonna be there.
Just so you know. I mean, I love New York City, but that was one thing that I noticed. Didn't matter where I went to live, there were cockroaches. I was like, what the frick? They're just like, well, the rats live in the sewer system, but the city is so old, and yeah, just be ready. They have cockroaches, no doubt about it. I'm sure that Andrea would agree with that. She's not in Manhattan, but it says they're here to stay. Yes, I agree. It's very hard to kill cockroaches.
Yeah.
Um, so that is an interesting thing. Is there anything else that you're worried about, or that you um, fall in the category of cockroaches? What else scares you in life, or that you get repulsed by?
Cockroaches. Mm, spiders, not so much. I don't care. I can't kill spiders unless it's like a fucking tarantula. Like I'm scared of those. Snakes.
Oh, I
Uh,
hate snakes. Snakes, I hate.
like yeah, snake. I don't like snakes. Like big lizards, like gecko. Like iguanas, they look disgusting. Like, I don't know. Like, what else do I not like? Rats. Oh my god, I hate rats. This
I
gross.
agree. Mind you, those little teeny white mice that they use for experiments, they're kind of cute. But
They are not cute. I would literally just toss them in the trash or something. I don't know. It's gross.
oh, that is too funny. So tell me about the kind of dog you're going to get.
I was thinking of border collie,
Oh,
but right now I'm looking at the adoption centers and they don't. It's like whatever comes in is what's up for adoption. You know
uh, yeah, but you do have to be a little careful on that.
why?
My son-in-law and my daughter had lived together before they got married a long time, and they got a pup from the pound, and it was a great dog, loved it. And then when they came here and they decided they were going to have a baby, they went and got a puppy too. And that puppy is now he's a year old. He's I crazy, just crazy.
With two puppies or
No, no, the other one passed away. So they decided to get a new puppy, and again from the pound. And this one jumps like mad, destroys stuff. I don't know. I think it's hit or miss when you don't get a breed. If you get a breed, you know what you're getting. Like they can, like you can learn about border collies and decide whether that's a good fit for you or not. But when it's a mix, you're really taking a chance. So, but anyhow, I'm sure that you're going to take a very good male or female. What are you going to get?
Male.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, um, I would like, Andrea says are the best. Um, I would like to ask if you would be nice enough to come back in
Yes.
at the beginning of next season.
Okay. Well, you got seasons here, huh?
Seasons, yeah. I'm in my second season.
All right. Yeah. Season 3. Let's go. Yeah. I'll be great.
Okay, okay. And of course, the other thing is, at some point, we have to do a deal together too. I think that would be just awesome. But I don't know who's going to bring it to who.
Most likely, you will bring it to me.
Maybe, maybe, or you might see something and go, "This is right for Effie."
We'll see.
Anyhow, you're going to be in the July summer camp.
I may or may not be. Well, if I get a puppy, probably no.
Bring it.
It's fine. I
It's a perfect land for a dog.
Yes, but I don't want to bring a puppy to that many people.
As long as it's had all its shots and everything, it's probably a perfect training ground for making it adjust to people. I don't know. I don't know dogs. I'm not a dog person, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope you do. I'll see you then. And I would like to say for now, thank you to all our guests and thank you, Kevin, very, very much. I look forward to having you again. All right,
Thank you.
everybody, we'll see you next week.
Bye.